Why? Because it's back for another revival in the 90s. And I have to say, just come here quickly, Matt. He is the mod god, girls. What do they... The mod god. I have to say, you want to stay around with the virtual show, aren't you? Brilliant. Oh. Anyway, with me today, for all those people who fancy being a mod in the 90s, not a problem. If you don't know how to dress or what attitude to have, no worries. We've got Adam Leroy here. He is basically a fashion stylist from Jump the Gun mod shop in Brighton. He's here to tell you how to do it, aren't you, Adam?
Try to.
Let's start off with the 60s, where it all began. Bit of music there, fantastic. Okay, so Adam, this is how the mods of the 60s dress, right? Tell us about what they're wearing.
Italian look, quite casual, but it's definitely a continental edge to it.
Very slick, isn't it?
Very slick, a bit dandy, quite effeminate, but still a man.
Still a mod.
Still a mod.
Still a mod. Now, what was the attitude of these mods in the 60s?
I think they were quite anti kind of grown-ups, because they were very young at the time. Definitely rebellious. It was a real first youth culture that was mobile, could get around and really enjoy themselves, and like it was a mass movement. I mean,
and what sort of music were they? Because Beatles were quite moddy, weren't they?
Well,
really.
I've never considered it. I wasn't there in the 60s, but I think it was modern jazz influence at the beginning, R&B, and then obviously the Who, Small Faces. Good British beat was the optimum, I think so, yeah.
Of course, that's British.
Some Motown, of course.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Let's move on to the 70s. Well, the late 70s and the early 80s here.
Late 70s, early 80s,
in
definitely post-punk, all the stripes, the red and white shoes.
Quite Vivian Westwood, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, she had to get her inspiration from somewhere, I suppose. But definitely post-punk, very loud, very obvious.
The shoes.
The shoes, you had to stand out in the crowd, especially with all the punks and the very loud look, so the mods just took that on.
And as we can see, we've got more brighter colours towards the end of the 70s.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, not always, but definitely quite one of the lads, but still a little bit dandy.
A bit different,
you know, you had to look quite hard-edged.
And what music were they listening to?
Well, there was a lot of Motown there, but also all the post-punk kind of, well, the Jam were obviously very big, but Chords, Secret Affair, Lambretters, you can't go wrong with.
Right, and we'll see them later on in a minute.
Great.
Alright, let's move on finally to the second revival of the mods, which is in the 90s. Okay, what's the fashion like now in the 90s?
Well, loose shirts. Not quite the same thing. Definitely
let's start with the shoes, because this is what, if you want to be a mod, you wear it like this. So start with the shoes.
Well, very retro. I mean, obviously a lot of influences from 70s as well. Not as smart, but button-down collars, Harringtons.
And is the sort of vintage Levi look that's...
Well, trousers, people are afraid, I think, nowadays to wear things like stay pressed and smart. They don't want to look too smart.
Right.
Most of the generation now aren't used to wearing even a shirt, let alone something quite neat and tidy.
Sure.
Laid back.
So what would you say was the essential item to have if you want to be a mod in the 90s? Just one item.
I suppose a good button-down shirt always helps. Yeah,
always
a slim fit shirt is it's the cut.
It sets the style.
Slim fit shirt and a Harrington, you can't go wrong.
Okay, attitude. Any different to the previous era?
Yeah, definitely. Very much more kind of. I don't really care.
Not out to impress.
No, they're very young, hard, very kind of laid back, very indie.
And finally, music.
Music.
The Oasis.
The Hypo Plus, Blur, people like that.
Right.
Kind of indie based a bit more.
Right. Okay. Now, but Adam, I haven't got an outfit. What do you recommend?
Well, I don't think you can go wrong with a Fred Perry.
Fred Perry shirt. What do you reckon, guys? Yeah. Alright, I'll put that on in a minute, and good to see you supporting this later on in the show.